A joint motion has been filed to change the trial date of former state trooper Kory York. His attorney, Mike Small, says it's due to witness availability for both sides. It's expected to change from September to October 28th. York is accused in the death of Ronald Green, who died in state police custody after a chase that ended in Union Parish in 2019. York is charged with negligent homicide and malfeasance in office.